Welcome back to another episode of Backyard Cars. I'm Patrick, and today, well, we got brake stuff for the Camaro. God, I hate this part. So, as you can see, we got it all, and a lot of it. And let me get it off the hood, and never mind all the tall grass everywhere. Fellers, I could have made tall grass short, or I could work on the Camaro, and I chose the Camaro. So let me get this junk off here, get the hood up, and we'll get into it. Well, we're gonna start getting this master cylinder loose, and then to the brake booster and beyond. Should just got the electro impact and zip zap these jokers off. It'd have been quicker. I'm positive. You probably hear more skirt 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 from the ratchet than you do my voice. It is what it is. I don't have a wireless microphone yet, fellers. I mean, not only are we on a budget on the cars, but we're on a budget on the camera. You feel me? Alright. I'm leaving the steel lines attached right now so we can try and bend her away and get them lines kind of crunked forward for us. Yeah, that was leaking everywhere, huh? Sweet. We're gonna try and leave that just like that, and then when we get the new booster in, we'll try and bend the lines back into a similarly slotted location. Or not. And on the Camaro, they gave you no room at all back here to get bolts off the good old booster, so that's going to be a tight fit. Well, you can see we got it in. It was a booger. The fitment was not exact, so we had to drill the holes out widers to get it to go on, but it was the only one we could get, so we had to make it work. And it took us a while. We even snatched the hood off so we could get them bolts back, because it was tight. It was tight. Anyhow, now we're gonna swap this brake booster out, our master cylinder out, try to get our stuff lined back up. It's gonna be a pain, but we're gonna get on it. The sun is just cooking out here, one thing at a time. And you know how it goes, everything's an issue. So I was hoping if we leave her loose and I'd get these lines cracked off here and get the new master cylinder, maybe we can, get an easier fitment when we slide it back up, right? That's the plan. We'll get the master cylinder out of the way, try to clean up the bracket down here, maybe like we did on the brake booster so we don't get a bunch of rust like you see already, and go. I'll set you up here. I'll try to set it up. The microphone on the camera is not great. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, let's get this master cylinder off. And well, you know the drill. Nothing's gonna work right. No lines are gonna fit back correctly. That's how everything goes. That's good and yucky. new and aluminum, so we don't have to worry about rusting on it. And don't worry, we're gonna bench bleed it. I know somebody right now is freaking out like, "Ah, you didn't bleed it." I know. We are going to bleed it. It just is so much easier to line everything up when it's already loose and pulled away like this. Alright. Yahtzee, Yahtzee. Alright, so before I go any further bleeding out this master cylinder, I know that the rear's got issues, and we're going to address that so that when we actually bleed this out, we can plug it in and just do all the bleeding at one time. So we're going to leave this just like it is for now. We're going to go to the rear here and pull the wheel off, and I already saw this back here when I checked on that wheel, but I want to show you guys, because when I swapped the rims out, I noticed another issue. So here we are on the wheel, and look at this beautiful thing. Now listen, I already swapped these wheels out, and that's when I noticed this. But I mean, something was missing here. We just brake drum gone, hardware gone. But there was a wheel on it, you know. We did whatever we just made it work, I guess. So I'm gonna pop all this junk off. That's always fun, you know. Well, we got it all off, and the line, all the bolts came out of this. I'm about to pop that wheel cylinder out, but that wheel cylinder just fell apart. No good. All this is tore up. Looks like the, you know, bug's been in here for a while. So I'm gonna try and, you know, cheek poker all this stuff kind of clean, and maybe even probably not. You know, just try and clean it up a little bit. See what we can do. Wonderful. is where we're at now. It looks a little better. It's a little laid up, but we'll just hit her with some brake clean and pss, 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 and start putting the new stuff on. And yes, it's in the dirt, but I did kind of set it up how it goes, just in case I forget. And any of these parts I don't have, I'm gonna clean up and wire brush on. And pss, pss, pss. So let me go find my brake clean and start putting her back together. Well, there we go. Brand new breakages. And we did the fancy thing. I'll take you over here. And we the new, drum so that, well, it don't rust and it looks shiny. But we got to get into this now. And that's, again, it's horrible. And we're missing a damn lever, so back to the parts store, It's like one little piece and everything you touch is gone. We needed this lever and, well, we took it. And I don't understand. Help me. You know what? It'll be alright. A couple days, it'll come. I'm gonna search around, actually, and we're gonna try and find it somewhere today and see if we can't wrap this up, because I'm tired of working on the stopping stuff. It's not any fun. So let me get on the horn and get this handled. Alright guys, well, we had to get all these new brackets and springs, and well, that's a big change, right? From that rusty junk you saw. Now I'm gonna put the drum on and we're gonna get to bleeding. And hopefully she whoa girls. Whoa girl. Alright, so now I got the rear all done up, and now we're gonna turn to the master cylinder. Let me get you in here and show you this and how I do it. I know everybody out there's got their own way, but this is how I do it. So I'm just gonna pop these two off, put the old fingers over there, got some rags here to kind of try and catch most of the mess, not all of it. It's gonna spray. We're gonna prime this up and then we'll stick the lines back on, and I'm gonna cheat. Really, I'm gonna use the pneumatic, brake bleeder, and I'm just gonna suck until I got clean fluid at the passenger rear. But I'll set you up and we'll let you, watch me spray this stuff all over myself and the rest of the car. I got my wife. She's gonna, do the braking things. Give me the pressures. This stuff never fits back in here. It's always lots of fun. Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. Come on, Sally. All right, push it down. Whoa. Let her up. One more time. A little bit slower. Let it up. One more time. I got plenty up front. Alright, let it up. You gotta sit a second and let it suck that fluid back in. And then we're going to try to move as fast as we can to get that front one back in the back. We're going to have to prime one more time. Alright, go ahead and push it down. You can go kind of quick.
All the way.
Let it up.
He paid his bill.
Push it down. Let it up. Push it down. Let it up. Down. That was pretty good. Let it up. Now, we're never getting this back in here easy, but we're going to try. You would think that they would, you know, help you out there and give you some curly cues in the line between the proportioning valve and the master cylinder. But of course not. Why would you do that? It'd make it too easy. And now, I only shot out some of the fluid. You can bleed it on the bench, but then you just make a mess in your shop. You could buy the little loop-de-loo hoses and watch them come right out of your master cylinder and squirt the fluid all over the firewall anyway. Or you can do that and then clean up your mess. Alright, well, it's day 2 of brake stuff. Of course, all the rubber lines are no good, and we can't get fluid in or out of them. And this caliper's seized up, and as you can tell, it's beautiful. So the rear steel line, well, the bolts rounded off of the steel line going into the rubber line, so I couldn't disconnect that, and I got frustrated and gave up and figured, let's just try to get front stopping. And this is easier, you know, in the dirt to get some front brakes, and then we can wheel her out to the concrete and deal with the rear steel line. So I'm going to try and clean up this a little bit and get that disconnected and that disconnected, and try to replace the rubber line and see if we can get fluid to the, you know, caliper. Probably not. It's probably, caliper's probably froze, and well, you know how the car's been. I mean, everything you touch is no good. So here we go. Round 357. Go. Alright, well, we got it all back together. And new rubber line and cleaned up everything. It will suffice, but I wanted to show you a couple things, like the factory ball joint from 1980, still on both sides of the car. So I imagine the bottom one is the same also, but you can tell it's factory because of the, you know, the way it is. Like, let me get you in there. Like the pop rivets, press rivets, whatever you want to call them, they're in there still. I mean, you'd have to grind that. You're not doing that at home, you know. The nuts and bolts go in when they get changed. So that's, I mean, that's like a rock, right? I mean, that's as tough as Chevy. They don't build them like this no more. 1980 factory ball joint. Outstanding. And then I want to show you the rubber lines, right? So by appearance, you would say, well, that's it's still got flex. I mean, it ain't too bad, right? But the problem is, well, there was no way for fluid to get through there. Look at that tiny, it's just collapsed inside and no fluid passing through, but now it's just flowing through. I mean, you can tell by the evidence of the drip on the ground there. So now I'm gonna get the, look at that, brand new clean hand, dirty already. I'm gonna get the vac out and we're just gonna vac the rest of the air right out of there. And then we should have woe girls up front. And that ought to be enough to get me out of the dirt, you know, and put the old girl out to the front of the casa where we got some concrete to, you know, lay on and get out all this stuff here, because it's not good. It's a pain in the family show. You know what I'm saying? Alright fellas, I'm gonna vac on it, and we just hook the vac line up here and just bzzz until we get no more bubbles and clean. It's gonna be clean because there's no fluid in it. We just got to get fluid with no bubbles, and then she'll be woeing on, and we can move on to hooking up a boat tank so we can put this dang thing out to the front of the yard. Yes, I need concrete. I can't do all the I gotta get underneath the back and disconnect the steel line that's back there and that rubber line, and I don't want to lay on all this junk back here. I don't want to do it. I've had enough of the dirt. So, I mean, that's what happens when you got no shop and it's been sitting in the yard for a little while. You just got to get it moving first, right? So, yeah, let me show you this nifty thing too. On the other side, this is how it's supposed to look, but it was snapped. So, I busted out the welder and bzz, bzz, and that didn't seem strong enough, so I put a big fat washer over it and bzz, 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 some more. And now I got to get the hood back on so I can, you know, muscle that spring, because it ain't happening here while it's moving. But I got a good trick for that. I'll show you when it comes time to doing that. All right, so I'm gonna get my hands washed to did, and well, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and vac on this and get this handled. Well, I got the hood back on, and now I'm gonna attempt to get the spring on. And I'm not using the dangerous screwdriver method, because when the screwdriver slips, it's gonna stab you in your lung, and that's not good. So I'm gonna use a ratchet strap, and I'm just gonna pull on the old spring. And it's dangerous, but it's what I got. Got my hood prop. It's factory hood prop, by the way. Came with all these Camaros. Just grab the ratchet strap and line her up and put the oomphs on it. And if all works well, you won't get it on. Alright, as you can see, we got the hood back on. Wonderful. And we're gonna try and fire it up again. So, we know the tank leaks because we saw it dripping, and we haven't got a new one in. So I did what every NHRA approved feller would do, and I just got the old sauce can and drilled a hole, and I mean, that's enough to let it run on its own, right? And it's in a great spot here next to the battery, so when it sparks, we just burn the whole joker down. And well, we're gonna see if we can't fire it up. We got front brakes now, and we're gonna try and let it run on its own a little bit, and if it does, well, we're gonna throw it in gear and see, does it move? Does it do things? And can we get it out of the backyard safely, at least? I mean, I probably have to do something different when we try to move it. Probably not. We'll just, I did get in here and plug. There was a bunch of vacuum ports that were not connected. I think, I'm not great on the quadribogs, but I think that there is for the evap canister or something. We'll find out when it's, you know, running. Yeah, let's try and get to that point right now. Go find. Well, we don't need a key. I gotta find my honey bear and, you know, squirt a little something in there to give it something to chew on for a minute. All right, guys, don't jinx me now. I mean, let's try and get some into the vent. Try and put a little in that bowl. I think we ran it dry. That ought to be good. A little bit everywhere for everyone. Well, I drank that entire jar down that quick and she's idling like a rocket. We're gonna have to back the old throttle off a little bit. I mean, whoo! That was like $3 grand off giddy up. She'll start up and run. The only thing we got to do now is check the transmission, and one thing I've never done is pull out the old tranny stick. So let's can we? I don't think it's got nothing there, I don't. Okay. And listen, fellas, I know, I'm just seeing, is there anything in it? I know it should be running to check it, but I mean, if you ain't got nothing on the stick at all, you can, and we're way below the add line, which means when it fires up, it's gonna be way below that. So, I mean, there's almost nothing in it. So I'm just gonna add some now. I mean, some is better than none. And I know there's somebody out there right now who's screaming. They're saying, you should use a red funnel. But I like my yellow one. And a red for the tranny, you know, black for your oil, yellow for your blinker fluid. But I'm going to use the blinker fluid funnel on the tranny, guys. And you can comment, you know, your keyboard mechanics, so you can get in there and tell me I'm wrong. It's alright. Just bear with me, guys. Don't grit too hard. I'm going to miss on half of this, I'm sure. I'm going to have to block you because I can't see either. We're just going to put a gluck, 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 or 5 or 10, or we're just going to put a bunch in there until we see some on the stick. I think it's a pint when you don't see none, a pint at a time. Ain't gonna hurt. Whatever, one of them things. Let's just not let it drip everywhere. Okay. Now can we see it on the stick now? Can we? No, we're getting to the add line. Okay. I mean, if it catches a gear, we'll check it while it's running when we fire it back up. But right now, we're just trying to get some in there, or a pint, or I don't know the math. Let's go back for some more lugs. That looks good. I'm hoping I get a gear, you know? will it move? Because with no gears, well, that hurts. I mean, sure don't want to pull a transmission out of it. I mean, that's what's gonna happen. Okay. Yeah, listen, it's gonna be everywhere. We know, up and down the stick. But we're looking for the main now we're in the full area. That ought to be enough to be sure it's got a gear. Well, we got gears. She won't stay running for nothing. But that's okay. We're gonna take this old carb apart, or just put an Eldo Brock on there, or a Holly, or whatever we can find used. Alright guys, listen, I'm taking this carb off, and I almost didn't record it. I pulled the bolts out, I went to pull the carb off and thought, well, why not at least show the carb coming off? I mean, if I take it off and rebuild it and put it back on there, clean it out. We're not gonna call it a rebuild. But if I take it off and clean it out and put it back on, you know, no one's gonna believe that I did that. So, listen, I might even walk you through it, and you can. It's not. I can't stress this enough. Viewers, this is not a how-to video, because I don't know how to do anything. It's just what I do. You know, I'm just going to take it, I'm going to disassemble it, I'm going to inspect it, I'm going to clean it, I'm going to put it back together. And maybe it works, maybe it don't. But we're having fun. We're just hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing I say can you take to the textbook. Alright, let's just get that straight. Oh, I think I got everything out of there. Well, that was a lot of stuff. Oh, that gasket's excellent shape. Oh, wow. There's a lot of gunk in here. One jet, one float. One needle, one seat. This is not nice. Well, fellas, after further examination, you know, tearing everything apart and cleaning it out and looking to put it back together, I realized that we're missing a sleeve that goes down in here that I am not going to find. And we're also missing the float spacer that, again, I would have to go search another carb up. And so at this point, I'm going to just say that this is going to be a parts carburetor for somebody that's looking to restore one back to factory. Well, that's going to shut us down for this episode now, as I got to find a carburetor. It'll probably take a couple days. And I have to, I got the gas tank and sending unit coming. So we'll get back on it when it's all that comes and we redo the fuel system. Maybe we'll do something with the Malibu. I don't know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.